trainers, travelers, and battlers. Hello, hi, it's me again, Jay Devin, back at it with another video. You know what it is. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe if you feel my vibe. Today we're just going to be doing some test battles, doing some more practice with this Nightmare Cup meta. Up here against, you can see the No-Handed Bandit. He is also a local YouTuber, not in my city, but in my general area. I'm going to put his channel, the link to his channel, into the description below. Thank you for doing some battles with me, man. We both kind of have busy schedules, I know. But guys, go check him out. Give him some love. So obviously, we have the matchups kind of going at this point, but he makes the right choice and he switches out to another Xatu. And we're going to kind of, go back and forth with the Ominous Winds. Because you're not going to want to do Air Slash versus a Xatu. You're going to want to go for the Ominous Wind because Xatu is part Psychic typing, and Ominous Wind, being a Ghost type move, obviously is going to be doing that super effective a damage against the Psychic types. And we just kind of had the matchups with the Heracross, and obviously we're able to just finish off the Shift Tree because the Air Slash is super effective to both, actually. If you didn't know, if you did not know, Heracross is going to be double weak to the Flying type moves. Now, in this video, one Pokemon I want to kind of feature, I guess. I didn't end up doing so many battles with it from what I remember. These are kind of older recorded battles at this point. They're a little over a week old. Sorry, I did have finals and everything going on, so we haven't uploaded since then. But I wanted to talk about Tyranitar for this video. Is he good in the Nightmare Cup meta? I guess we'll just talk about that after the battles, and we'll look into some matchups on pvpoke.com and some scenarios. But right here is open up with the Toxicroak. I'm going in with the Alolan Muck, which isn't... it is kind of a bad matchup for us because he has the Mud Bomb, which, being a ground type move, is going to be super effective to the poison. Now, when I say things like this, it might sound a little redundant. You're going to say,
Jay, what are you doing, man? We already know.
But I know there are some subscribers and some people who aren't super familiar with the typings and these specific matchups, so I'm still going to be pointing out the obvious in situations like that. Now, he went for the Sludge Bomb, but we ended up blocking it and using our last shield at that point, and he had the Mud Bomb stacked up, so he played that very well. But we were lucky we were able to get off a Mud Bomb, and he had to use his last shield to protect his Raichu. This matchup's going to be kind of favorable for us because as you can see, electric type moves are going to be not very effective versus Shift Tree because Shift Tree is grass typing, but he brings out his own Shift Tree, and even though I'm able to get off the Leaf Blade against it, we're not really going to be able to take that one, not going to be able to take that win just because the Razor Leaf does so much damage so quick. And I already had taken a little bit of damage at that point, so he just he took the victory with that one. Now, this time, obviously, I'm going to want to swap my flow a little bit, switch things up. So we're going to go in with the, what did I lead with again? I think I just led with the Xatu Open. I feel like a lot of times Xatu can be kind of a safe lead. The main thing you're scared of when it comes to using Xatu, Alolan Raichu is going to be a big threat, as well as a Spiritomb. But, look at this, for example. He opened up with the Hypno, which obviously, if he has it as a Legacy Hypno with the Shadow Ball as his charge move, he can destroy our Xatu. But when you open up, we have two shields. So we can play this to our advantage, and we can just put out as much damage as quickly as possible. And obviously here, as you can see, I want to stack up my charge a little bit and save for whatever else is coming out. Because I know even if I need to use another shield, I think it's kind of advantageous so far with how the matchups have gone, since we had a good open to just stack the energy and do as much damage as we can do against the Hypno. He is running the Spiritomb, which is it's all right. That was my last video. There's already been a lot of discussion, a lot of videos and everything, made around Spiritomb. The main thing where my Spiritomb is lacking, obviously, as you can see, is I only have Ominous Wind as a charge move. I still, at this point, don't even have enough rare candies to put into Spiritomb to give him Shadow Ball as a second move. Also, I'm completely out of TM, so yeah, I need to get out, do some raiding with the group, get up some rare candies, and also get up some TMs for this PvP stuff. Otherwise, our Spiritomb is going to remain pretty much useless. You definitely, if you're going to run Spiritomb, you're going to want Shadow Ball as an additional move. That's really what makes him optimal. Just doing some more matches here, obviously, against the No-Handed Bandit. We're able to get in a lot of practice. But jumping back again, sorry I got a little off track. There's a lot going on today, and I still want to get out and raid and play a little bit to stack up some Stardust too. So I'm still kind of getting used to this whole thing alternating between work, doing videos, and also playing the game itself. So I'm getting there. Just give me a little bit of patience. I'll get used to it. I'm learning. Um, we switched out. He has the Machamp now. Machamp's performed all right. I've never used it myself. We were lucky enough to get a shiny Machop from a research. We did it for the which one was it? It was the Battle in a Gym research, but we were lucky enough to get that. It was our Pokédex edition for the shiny, and when we evolved it and powered it up, it did get to exactly 1500 CP. Hashtag battlers, but it's not really the super ideal PvP IV spread. Obviously, you're going to want as low attack as possible and as high defense and as high HP stat as possible for the optimal IV spread. And the reason, if you don't already know, a lot of you probably already do, but the reason you want it that way is even though it's going to have a lower attack IV stat, one thing you need to keep in mind is that IVs, the 1 through 15, those are going to be basically an additional bonus on top of what the base stat product of that Pokemon on that IV spread already is. Okay, you can't get negative IVs. That's not a thing. No matter what, you're going to have the base stats of that Pokemon. Now in PvP, combined with Pokemon and how their CP formula just works, the attack stat has the most influence on the CP amount itself, right? So when you have a lower attack stat IV, you can reach a higher CP, which essentially, in terms of the base stats and the stat spread itself, as far as Pokemon Go works, you're going to be able to reach a higher total stat product with a lower attack stat and higher defense and higher HP, while also being a higher level. So by default, I mean, it's kind of counterintuitive, but by default, because of having a lower attack stat, you're actually able to be a stronger Pokemon, specifically in PvP. Now, the Machamp has performed pretty well. I want to get mine to have a counter, dynamic punch, and rock slide. Obviously, it's not going to be legacy because we just got it. It's a shiny. I also like how my Drapion has performed. I definitely feel like at this point, Drapion is going to be the biggest threat as a poison dark type against the Nightmare Cup meta so far, because Infestation does super effective against a lot of matchups, namely Shiftry. It can do super effective against Xatu as well as Alolan Raichu. And, Infestation, while doing super effective, doesn't do an insane amount of damage itself. It charges up to get to the Aqua Tail, and the crunch is super duper quick. So don't underestimate Drapion. I think you can perform well without having it, but if you're going to go up against someone who does have a Drapion, try and favor yourself with the matchups as much as possible. If you can avoid using a Raichu or a Raticate or a Xatu, other things like that, that would be, where their Drapion would be very bad news, then do that. It's probably wise to do so. But those battles are over. I hope you enjoyed those. Right now we're going to go dive into pvpoke.com and take a look here at some of the matchups with Tyranitar. I'm not going to pull them up at the same time while I'm recording because I want to edit and get this out as fast as possible so I can get some other stuff done today. But one thing I noted, I'll comment on this because I remember looking at it a couple of days ago while you're looking at all this, the video feed here from my recording, my screen recording. It loses some matchups super duper hard. Off the top of my head, it's going to lose super duper hard, obviously, against all the fighters. That goes without saying. In a lot of scenarios, it's also going to lose against Drapion pretty hard. That matchup is it's kind of weird, to be honest. The reason I thought about using Tyranitar, obviously, even though it's double weak to fighting, is it wins in a lot of scenarios against some strong Pokemon in the meta. Smackdown is just doing so much damage neutrally and consistently, while he can actually get to Stone Edge and Crunch relatively fast now. And typically people in the meta, they're gonna be running a team composition of having a poison dark fighting or just a dark typing or even a lowland Raticate, while pairing that with the fighting type Pokemon as well as some sidekick type Pokemon. If it's not Xatu, they'll typically have a confusion user like Legacy Hypno with Confusion and Shadow Ball, or if you're a little niche like me, they might have a Gardevoir up their sleeve or some scenarios like that. But here's the thing, it's going to resist those psychic type moves while doing super effective and neutral damage against the psychic Pokemon, as well as potentially, just beating the crap out of the poison dark types. Unless it's Drapion with Infestation and Aqua Tail, then that's also going to be bad news. But that's pretty much it. That's my thoughts on it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry we didn't go too much into depth. But yeah, so moving forward, I think I'm just going to continue to look into some Pokemon that might be underrated, that people aren't really looking into for these metas. If you want to go look at the top of the line metas, what's the best of the best, there are other channels for that again. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you did, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. But most importantly, please make sure that you have a good freaking day.